In this video, I'm going to show you how to quickly climb the credit card tier ladder in 2026, going from level 1, the base tier, all the way up to level 5, our ultra exclusive premium tier. I'll show you how credit cards transform from just being a basic tool in your financial tool belt to build credit to becoming a financial key that unlocks incredible savings in your day-to-day life, as well as unlocking new experiences, such as traveling for free in style. Did anyone say lie flat business class seats for pennies on the dollar? For each tier level, I will reveal the minimum credit score required, the objectives that you want to learn in this tier before you progress to the next, the minimum amount of time that you should spend in this particular tier, the types and number of cards that you want to open in the tier, and of course, my recommendations for the best cards to be getting in this tier. And why listen to me? Well, hi, my name is John of John's Finance Tips. I've spent over a decade in the credit card industry, mastering cards, earning millions of points, and building a perfect credit score along the way. And now my goal is simple. I want to help you make the best decision possible when you get your next card. Okay, let's dive in. Level 1, base tier. Minimum credit score required. None. The objectives in this tier are very simple. 1, you want to learn credit card basics. For example, what is the difference between a credit card and a debit card? What exactly is a credit limit? As a hint, it's not your money, it's borrowed money. And of course, credit score 101. What actually helps your credit score and what actually hurts your credit score? The other objective at this level really is to build a credit score so that you can progress to tier 2. Time spent at this tier. At a minimum, 12 months. Ideally though, people should be here between 1 to 2 years. Types of cards here. The first type are secured credit cards. This is a credit card where you put in a refundable deposit and that deposit amount is your credit limit. The second type of card are student cards. These are unsecured cards, but they have a very low credit limit. Card recommendation. The first is a secured card, the Platinum secured card from Capital One. This card has no hidden fees, and the best part is within 6 months of having the card, they'll automatically consider you for a higher credit limit. The other card I will look at as a student is the Discover It student card. This was actually my very first card I ever got in college. It's kind of like a little brother to its fully unsecured product. The only difference is the credit limit is much smaller, but you get elevated earning categories that rotate every month, which are 5%. Moving on to the next tier. Level 2 is the beginner tier. Minimum credit score required here is going to be at least a 670. Objectives at this tier. Credit card mastery. In the first tier, it was the basics. It was making your payment. It was understanding making full payments. It was understanding making on-time payments. It's understanding things like if you make the majority of your payment before the closing date, as opposed to the due date, you can instantly boost your credit score. All right, so you have to be very comfortable utilizing and understanding credit. The second objective, learning the ABCs of cashback, where you're thinking about certain spend categories where you spend more, whether it's for eating out, whether it's for travel, whether it's for gas, and then thinking about, okay, there are certain cards that give elevated cashback in those categories and keeping a track of that in your head. And before we move on to the bells and whistles in the later tiers, another great skill to pick up here is actually learning about cashback portals that you can stack on top of your cashback credit cards. So as an example, let's say you had a 2% cashback credit card. Amazing. You go online shopping and then you go to a cashback portal such as Rakuten or Top Cashback. And right now Rakuten has 8% additional cashback if you shop on Nike. Well, if you use your 2% card, that's effectively 8 plus 2, 10% cashback for shopping at Nike, and you didn't have to do anything other than click a few buttons. And I don't mean to overload you, but right now Rakuten actually has an all-time high offer for new users where you're going to get a $50 sign-up bonus. The only thing is you need to spend $50 and then they'll give you $50. So if you're going to spend $50 online shopping in any of the hundreds, possibly thousands of retailers they have, I strongly recommend you jumping on this offer. And it's not relevant right now, but in a later section it will be. Rakuten actually lets you take your cash back as credit card points, specifically as either American Express or Bill points. And so this $50 is easily 5,000 American Express or Bill points. Again, don't worry about that too much, but you can see how once you kind of get further into the world of credit cards, things start stacking and they can get complicated. So we want to make sure we have our basics covered in tiers where they're slightly less complicated. As for number of cards in this tier, I would say maximum 2. You could have one for one high spend category and one credit card as a catch-all, but for most people, I think ideally you just want to work with one. Time spent at this tier, minimum 12 months. There's a lot going on. You have to master credit card mechanics, learn cashback portals, maybe think about points. So 12 months, I think, at a minimum. Ideally, I want you to spend 1 to 2 years here. Types of credit cards. Most important are going to be beginner credit cards, which have no annual fee. In addition, they're giving you some sort of cashback greater than 1%. Example, credit cards. One of my favorite at this tier is the Citi Double Cash. It is dumb simple. What it is, no annual fee. In addition, 2% cashback everywhere, no limit, no cap. I mean, if you want to talk about a card you don't have to think about, it's like, hey, I know I'm doing better than the 1%, which is kind of industry entry point. I'm good to go. The other card I absolutely love for this tier is the Chase Freedom Unlimited. A little bit more bells and whistles. This card has a $200 sign-up bonus after you spend $500 within the first 3 months. In addition, though, kind of what's really key about this card is the fact that it gets you into the Chase ecosystem. And when we talk about higher tier cards in level 3 and level 4, it's great to have a banking relationship with Chase because it kind of helps kind of get your foot in the door, if you know what I mean, so that you can level up. This card earns 3% on dining, 3% on drugstores, and 1.5% everywhere else. This card actually was my second card ever. The Discover It was my first, this was my second. This is probably the best beginner credit card for pretty much everybody. It's got a couple bells and whistles. It gets your foot in the door with Chase. I mean, you really can't go wrong with jumping on this card. Level 3 in this tier is going to be our mid tier. Credit score. Minimum here, 700 plus. Objectives of this tier. First is mastering and optimizing your spend. Understanding where do you spend? Shopping, travel, dining. Understand certain travel categories don't count as travel. For example, Uber might count as travel for one, but not as another. Or riding the bus is travel for one credit card and not another. You really want to get square in T's and C's and understanding where those spend categories align to your spend style. Next objective, learning about sign-up bonuses. You hear people having hundreds of thousands of points. Well, how do you get 100,000 points? If you had a 1x card, you'd have to spend $100,000. Or if you got a card with a good sign-up bonus, you could spend $6,000 and get the same 100,000 points. So gotta be smart about that. The next objective, learning about credit card rules. Yes, every bank has certain rules. Some are unspoken, some are spoken. For example, Chase has the infamous 524 rule. You open 5 credit cards in the last 24 months, Chase likely not gonna approve you for a 6th. American Express has a 5 credit card limit, meaning if you have 5 American Express credit cards and you apply for a 6th, you're not getting it. And rules extend out to Barclays, Bank of America, Citi, Capital One. I mean, they all have rules. Get familiar with them because you're going to be opening more credit cards and they might just butt heads. The next objective, and I think this is probably the most important one at this level, is learning about award travel basics. As an example, learning about the value of your points when you use them to book, let's say, a business class flight on Air France directly within the American Express travel portal versus taking those same points and transferring them to Air France. So this booking would cost you over 230,000 American Express points if you just booked on the American Express website. But if you transferred your American Express points to Air France, it would only cost you 60,000 points. Huge distinction. And as a tip on how to get started, what I use is this program called Seats.aero. It's a free website to use. You can search up to 90 days out for award seats. So you can see right here, I kind of plug it in. It does have a little bit of a learning curve relative to some of the other tools, but I think by far it's the fastest and gives you a quick idea of, hey, is there award availability in business class from North America to Europe or North America to Asia? And then you can play around from there. So like I said, free if you want to search up to 90 days out, but if you want to search more than that, you do have to pay for it. My recommendation, guys, sign up, pay for a month, do all your research, and then cancel it. And if you're interested, I do have a referral link in the description box down below. Feel free to check it out. I think hands down, this is probably my most used tool other than Google when I'm just sitting at my computer and browsing. As for number of cards here, I would say at a minimum, 2 cards. Honestly though, ideally, you're probably gonna have 3. You're gonna have a beginner card, right? And then you're gonna have 1 mid-tier card. And if you play this sign-up bonus game, you'll probably end up getting another to get more points. Time spent here. I don't think there's a minimum, but there's my recommendation. For most folks, it's like 6 to 12 months. They get here, they get excited. If you're a quick learner, you're close to the 6 months. If you get here and you're like, you know, it takes me a little bit to spin up, or maybe I'm not doing much traveling, it could be 12 months plus, but that's kind of the range I see most people progressing in this tier. Types of cards we see here these are gonna be what I would deem the mid-tier travel cards. These cards are gonna earn higher elevated categories in certain things like travel, for instance, or airline, or hotel, or dining. In addition, these cards have no foreign transaction fee as a standard feature. The other grouping of cards I see here are going to be airline and hotel specific cards, especially for corporate travelers, right? If you're flying on Delta or American Airlines, if you're staying at Marriott's versus Hyatt's, You're gonna wanna look at those cards. And as for annual fees, you should expect that annual fees are gonna range from $95 up to about $325. Example cards. The first one is a card called the American Express Gold. This card right now has a sign-up bonus that's public available. Anyone can get it, and it's just 60,000 points after you spend $8 grand in 6 months. Honestly, not that great. However, there is a way more elevated all-time high bonus that's non-public, going as high as 100,000 points. Obviously, the problem is you have to be able to find a working link to be able to get this bonus. Thankfully, since you follow me, I do have a working link in the description box down below, so feel free to check it out. In addition, this card gets you 4x on dining, 4x on grocery. And it's the first card where you see how you can get outsized value. So the card has, admittedly, a $325 annual fee. It's pretty steep, but it gives you a 120 dining credit, a 120 Uber credit, and a $100 Resi credit. You take all those credits and you stack it up. You effectively pocket $15 to have this card year over year. Now, there's also an $84 Dunkin' credit, which I know it's not applicable to everyone, but I'm from Boston. I throw that in there. I'm getting nearly $100 back to have this card every single year. So for sure, if you are someone who eats food and travels, this is your card. And if you're able to find a working link to that all-time high non-public offer going as high as 100,000 points, folks, remember that earlier Air France example, 60,000 points business class to Europe? Come on now. The other card I like at this tier for its pure simplicity is gonna be the Capital One Venture. So this card gives you a 75,000 point sign-up bonus after you spend $4,000 in 3 months. But what I love about it is its simplicity. 2x everywhere. That's it. Don't know what I'm spending on, don't really care to track it. Cool, put on the 2x card. This card also has the transfer partners that American Express has, and the annual fee comes in at $95. Level 4, this is the premium tier. Minimum credit score, 740 plus. Objectives at this tier. First is gonna be mastering award travel. Understanding that, hey, if you want to fly on Japan Airlines, sometimes it's actually better to book using American Airlines points. It's understanding all of these to extract the maximum value you can out of the credit cards, because in my opinion, and honestly, this is where I see it as fact, the most bang for buck is always going to be flying international business class lie flat, which not a bad problem to have. The minimum number of cards you want to have here is 2. Likely most folks are having 3, 4, or 5, especially again if you're going after these high sign-up bonuses. 50, 70, 100, 150, 175,000 points. Keep an eye out for those because that's gonna make a difference when it comes to taking your family on vacation, paying pennies on the dollar. And the final objective, it's pretty simple, have fun. This is where most of you are gonna spend most of your time. In fact, this is exactly where I've been for the past, I don't even, 7, 8, 9 years. This is where I'm still learning about award travel. I'm still opening cards year over year. This year, I think I'm gonna end up opening 5 cards to get sign-up bonuses. And then you put all those pieces of information together and just have fun with it. Knocking back caviar, sipping on champagne, sitting in these business class seats that I have no business sitting in because of the fact that they cost $5,000, $10,000. Heck, I even took a shower on a plane. Like, in what world? The minimum amount of time you spend here, honestly, is forever, because the only objective here is to spend as much money as possible, because that's the only way that you're gonna be able to progress to the next tier. Example cards I love at this tier. The first one is the American Express Platinum. Very similar to the Gold. It's coming right now with a public sign-up bonus, which is like 80,000 points after you spend 12 grand in 6 months. However, there's a way more elevated non-public offer going as high as 175,000 points for the same amount of spend over the same time period. Definitely jump on that offer. Again, if you're interested, I do have a working link in the description box down below. This card is an absolute heavy hitter. Even though it comes with an $895 annual fee, there are so many credits that this card throws you. A $400 Resi credit, $300 digital entertainment credit, $300 Lululemon credit, or Ring credit. There are so many credits this card throws you. You literally can walk away pocketing close to, well, in some cases, over $1,000 every single year to have the premium flagship card from American Express that gets you into their Centurion lounges, Delta lounges, Lufthansa lounges, giving you status with hotels. I mean, this card is just cream of the crop when it comes to travel. However, if you're not traveling a ton, definitely wouldn't be looking at this card. I would only look at it for the sign-up bonus, and then I would think about something else in the next 12 months. The other card I would look at this category is the Chase Sapphire Reserve, 100,000 points after you spend $6,000 within the first 3 months. Folks, do not sleep on this. Chase points are still some of the most valuable in the space. I love to use them for Hyatt. As an example, Park Hyatt New York typically goes for well over $1,000 a night, sometimes $1,500 a night. It can cost you as low as 35,000 Hyatt points a night. And where do you get 35,000 Hyatt points? points, you take it from Chase, you transfer over to Hyatt. And the third card I would look at here is the Bilt Palladium. Folks, if you either rent or have a mortgage, this is the card you needed yesterday, because this card lets you earn points in a category you otherwise would have earned 0 points. And as somebody who has my largest monthly expense being housing / specifically the mortgages I have, having never been able to earn points on that, it's an absolute godsend. So do not sleep on this card. In addition, you're gonna earn 2x everywhere on all other purchases. The types of cards you should expect at this level are gonna be premium flagship credit cards from all the major banks. So you would expect premium flagship card prices, and that's exactly what we see. So annual fees are gonna go as high as $895. And now we arrived at the final level, level 5, the ultra exclusive premium tier, other words, the invite tier. Credit score, minimum 740 plus. The objective at this level, if you reach here, you have only one objective, and that is to flex. Because you, my good friend, have a lot of money. Either a lot of money invested or a lot of money to spend. The time that you want to spend at this level, well, until you go broke. The types of credit cards here, you're expecting invite only. Annual fees going up to $5,000 a year. 2 example cards we have are 1, the JP Morgan Reserve, which requires you to have $10 million invested with JP Morgan. And then you get the JP Morgan Reserve, which, but based on my research, it's the exact same thing as the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but you also get United Club Lounge access. That's it. Annual fee is the same. I mean, all the features are pretty much the same, which kind of makes me wonder, is it really worth having 10 million managed by JP Morgan to apply for this card? I don't know. The other card though is the one that everyone has heard of, is the American Express Centurion card, aka the Black Card. This card, $10,000 initiation fee and $5,000 annual fee. This card has a whole ton of bells and whistles, but the one that I think is kind of unique and that the math could work out in having it is that it gives you automatic Delta Platinum medallion status, and that status alone would require you to spend $5,000 with Delta anyway. So if you're gonna spend $5,000 flying with Delta anyway, would it be more worth it to just spend the $5,000 annual fee to have this card and then you get the status automatically? Again, I'm sure people who are getting this card are not thinking about it. And as far as how to get this card, at a minimum, you're spending $250,000 to $300,000 with American Express, though what's more accurate is you need to be in like the top percentile of spenders in the particular city you reside in. So if you're in New York, that could be closer to $1 million spent with American Express every single year, versus if you're residing in a Midwest town. All right, folks, and this is the video. Hopefully this gave you an idea on how you can quickly scale the credit card tier ladder in 2026, going from level 1 base all the way up to level 4, but maybe level 5 if you either have the money or willing to spend the money. Let me know, comments, questions down below, what you think I missed. In addition, if you're interested in any of the card offers we talked about, feel free to check it out. I do have working links for all the cards we described in the description box down there as well, and I will catch you all on the next one. All right, peace.